who is genuinely served his country and is fucked and is never going to get better, is only allowed to PIP for 3 years, but she's been given it for 5 years. And there's fuck all wrong with her.
Okay, so now we understand. Before someone responds back, okay, so...
Can I go next after, please, boss?
Yeah.
Your argument is, is that you think that the woman with the wheelbarrow is actually making a false claim and has more and has got more better treatment than actually a man who actually has been back from the war. That's your point here, yeah?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, can I just say something, please, people? There's 58. Can you just tap that screen? We can get that over 10K if we all just work together, honestly. If you can just get it over 10K, I'll be happy, please.
We get it to 10K, so I swear to God, I'll give you the best live reply ever.
Okay, go ahead. Right, so, okay, right, Luke, you can if you want to respond to this for a minute, you can respond to this.
Right, so can I please just ask you to please go on mute, because you can't help but interrupt me.
Okay, can everyone go back on mute and do the same thing that we've just done with the truth? If we can all go on mute, please, and then no one interrupt. I'll put you all on mute for a second. Okay, right, Luke, go ahead.
So I'm going to start off with, I take my hat off to your friend who served our country and unfortunately has paid the sacrifice. Yeah, he's come back, he's now traumatized, and he's living a life that he didn't ever want to do, but he signed up for that. But he also thought his government would support him if that was ever to happen to him in life. But what I'm going to go on to now is your stinking attitude and the way you discriminate people with hidden disabilities. Let me tell you, I know people who have high disability because of certain things that they have to live with. Trauma. You don't just get PTSD the way you took it about from going to war. You get it from SA. You get it from car crashes. You get it from trauma is trauma. But all you're interested in is Linda next door and her wheelbarrow. Yeah? You don't know how she lives her life day in and day out. Yeah? People get assessed on points. Yeah? And you're telling me in 3 years that man he can wash up, you've said. He can get around on a mobility scooter. Yeah? That man is making progress. So maybe that's why they have made it 3 years. But you can't sit there and have a hate campaign against your friend's neighbour because his PIP form has been rejected 3 times. She didn't read the form. She didn't score the points. All she's done is filled her form in truthfully. And the way you go on, that you're this person that represents soldiers and ex-serving, you know, you go about it, you speak about that everyone else means nothing unless you've served this country. Yeah? You discriminate everyone unless they've served this country. I had respect for you at the start, but you know what? It all comes down to that you are a jealous neighbour, yeah? And I'd be very shocked if you've got any neighbours living next to you. I bet you're one of these neighbours that go on the Channel 4, Neighbour from Hell. I'm done, and I don't want to have another conversation with this lady again because you're a joke.
Okay, all right. Okay, right, people, listen, do me a favor. We're going to respond back to each other, all right? This is not just direct. Whatever you want to speak about with this PIP claim, what's happening with these claims, people are getting them when they shouldn't be. Other people are not getting them.
Respond to anything anyone wants me to answer. I will respond if they don't agree with what I've just said as well. but I won't keep bringing Linda and the wheelbarrow.
Okay, the truth will prevail. Will come out. Sorry, listen. I look, people. I want to make one thing clear. I don't want to feel like every single person in this box. I know some people are not happy with what was said on the last live feed, but can we just explain and not? I'm not saying anyone has, but if everyone unmutes and it seems like we're shouting at her, it's not going to be fair on the truth will come out either. Yeah, I think she's trying to explain a point. Yes, there was a few things that were said earlier on that people wasn't happy with, but can we please just try to be calm and explain to each other? We'll understand more instead of us all arguing like we did on the last live feed. Okay. Babe just came up. All right, I'm going to let you go. Then I'm going to let Donna speak, and so on. Okay, all right. But I don't want to make this look like this is all everyone ganging up on the truth will come out. Okay, and that's what I don't want to do. But at any point she can jump out. If she's not happy, just let me know in the comments or say it to me, and you can come out of here. Babe, how are you keeping?
How are you and how are the girls?
We're all good. They're all good. We're all good. I'm just chilling out, just having this last debate before I head up to this protest tomorrow.
So, I agree that people do get PIP. I do agree. I also agree that it is eligible whether you're working or not. My partner broke his back, broke his pelvis and his hip and his knee, and a bleed on the brain. The nurses said in the hospital, not worth applying for it because you won't get it.
Wow.
Right. I also have got breakages. Don't get anything. And yet, I'm not having a go at you, so please don't think I am. Just because somebody has been in a position that they have been at war, they are doing a job. I was doing a job when I had my accident. It's the terms and conditions. So, you get some, you lose some. And believe me, it's hard. But I don't judge anybody because my PTSD is that shocking now. Well, it's complex PTSD. Is that shocking now? That's more of a hindrance than my not being able to walk hardly now. And that's what I'm dealing with.
I'm sorry to hear what you've had to go through. I'm sorry to hear that.
Don't be sorry. I just wanted to point that out, and I don't want to sound bitter towards anybody.
Yeah.
No, it just shows that everyone gets different PIP. But just to the truth will come out. Would you campaign for that lady because she hasn't served in the armed forces, or would you treat her the same as everyone else?
I can tell you something now, and I'm not going to be liked for this. I have two friends that one served in the army for a very short time. They get helped a lot by the armed forces service, and they have a lot of expectations which are met, and there's nothing wrong with them. So I think it's a case of wrong place, wrong time. I wouldn't campaign for anybody because at the end of the day, it's only yourself that can fill the forms in, not everybody else.
I weren't referring to you. I was asking this lady here who...
Oh, sorry.
So would the truth comes out, if this lady here who sadly has had an injury at work, but it's not the army, but it is classed as a job, would you still feel so passionate about her if she would decline her PIP application form?
The truth will come out. You need to unmute. Sorry, let me try to unmute. I can't do it. You need to unmute it from your side. There you go.
Just asking
Absolutely.
Alexa.
Absolutely. 100%. I would absolutely absolutely fight for you.
And
Can you hear me?
that's
Yes.
just changed my opinion on you. Me and you have just gone head to head because the way I seen it and the way you come across was, unless you served in the armed forces,
Not at all. Not at all. I will fight for anybody that needs additional help. What I was trying to say to you guys earlier on was I have a guy who is severely disabled
oh,
through his armed forces career and is not is has we fought for hours to get him all his paperwork together to get his PIP. Yet the lady next to him, in the house next to him, who works, who gardens, who does all this stuff that he can't do, was granted PIP for 5 years. Yet Lee was only allowed it for 3 years, and we could not understand it. We could not understand why he had
don't know if this
injuries.
is going to help you understand it. Do you know that there is work-based personal independence payment where
Yeah.
you? So that lady who you keep judging because she smokes cannabis, it could be medical prescribed
Let's
cannabis.
stop this here now. She's a dealer.
Oh, it's
Oh my God.
Oh, well, let's stop this here now. You're a pharmacist, so you're a dealer.
no, it's what I'm saying. Everything I say, you seem to have an answer for. You didn't mention the drug dealing bit earlier.
No, because she wouldn't let me speak. She's a
You haven't
dealer.
shut up. How have I not let you speak?
All right, let's try to keep it calm. All right, let's try to please all keep it calm. I know there was a few things that was said in the other live feed, but let's just try to keep it calm in here for a minute. And I just want to tell a quick story, and I want to get your opinions on the truth. Will come out, yeah, on my story, okay, on my story. All right. Now I want to ask anyone else: is this fair? Because I've had enough. Yeah. Now I went in this morning for my assessment. Okay, for my PIP assessment, I went in just like anyone else went into the room. Yeah, okay, not a problem. Sat down, was speaking to the woman, and then she just was looking at me weird, and she goes, "Can I ask you to come with me to a separate room, a special room? It's a bit more secure." And so I thought, okay, so walking with her anyways to this other room, and she goes, you need a separate team, you need a special trip, we're going to ring a separate team to deal with you, okay? So I'm thinking, what's this about? So just before I walked into the door, I said to this woman, I said, can I ask you a question? I said, before I go in there, I said, what is this? Why am I getting this special treatment? Why am I going into a separate room? Why are you calling up some other people? And she said, because of what you're wearing. Now, how do you get special treatment and they try to lock you into a room because of what you're wearing? I'm in the same stuff of what I wore to that meeting. What the hell is wrong with what I'm wearing?
Right, listen.
What would she want to try to lock me in a room for?
But I'm going to jump off now because
What did I do?
I'm not associating myself with that bank robber. But listen,
Right,
all I
listen.
want to
This
say
is, in all honesty, just very
can I
quickly.
just jump off, please? Before
sorry, yeah.
you hear your voice in my head all night. If you know all this information about benefit fraud, drug dealing, pushing wheelbarrows, why haven't you called the police?
Oh my God.
They don't bother.
What?
They don't bother.
How do you know?
They're not
You've
bothered.
lost, you have lost the plot, my darling, and I hope you have a good night's sleep.
Tony, can I go next, please?
Yeah, of course you can, Donna, of course you can.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm in Ireland. I'm not in England. So PIP, I'm assuming, is the same as like disability and...
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So my son was born with a birth defect and I was entitled to no benefits. He's now 16 and throughout his 16 years I was entitled to nothing, not even a travel pass to travel from my county up the country. So I don't understand. Yes, people get work injuries but I don't see how that's different just because it's the army.
No, not at all.
So my son was literally born with a birth defect and I wasn't entitled to anything.
Well, that's wrong.
So when I travelled, I had to pay for everything myself.
Yeah, that's wrong.
No, that's not called for whatsoever. And
I appealed it as well, and it still made no difference.
This is what I think is going on. I think people are frustrated because they actually do know people who actually have, just like in your situation there, Donna, who have got genuine people that has problems that need this, and some people are actually looking, and I totally agree with what Luke is saying as well, and I totally agree with what's said, because not every disability can be seen by the eye. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah, 100%. Yes, I completely agree there.
Yeah.
But it comes across as if the truth is literally jealous of Linda. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So this is what I think people picked it up wrong, that the truth will come out. I had a problem with the one with the wheelbarrow.
Linda.
No,
Linda.
listen.
And
Right.
that's what I think the misunderstanding was.
There's many people that have disabilities that can go out do their garden. I don't understand. Like, she's saying that she's out gardening or whatever, but there's so many people with disabilities that can go out and garden.
I think it's because she don't have a garden.
No, I have got a garden.
Yeah, you have. But what about the person that you're claiming for?
Right, listen. Look. Oh, God.
And also, Linda, you said Linda is on her PIP payment for 5 years. First of all, I'd love to know how you know that. Secondly, how do you know?
Him.
Okay, so how do you know before that she wasn't on a 3-year plan and then it got extended to a 5-year plan?
Quite happy to tell Lee that
She's not going to tell you her whole life story, is she?
Listen, Linda is an absolute dodge. She's an absolute scratter. She is well known on our island as being like,
On your island?
yeah, she's well
Green
known
River.
on our. She's well known on our
You're
island.
on the Epstein Island, please.
No, it's not the
Your
Epstein
island? Do you mean your estate or your island? Like,
No,
your
our island. We live on an island. She's well known on our island as being.
Well, sorry, love. If you're living on an island and you having a hope of PIP.
Yeah, you're like. She's well known that she's a fucker.
I give you my PIP if you swap for the island.
I love Ireland.
Look, on a serious note, has anyone else faced that? And listen, does anyone know of anyone that has faced any similar issues where you know they genuinely can't work and they're being refused these, is it PIP or what's it referred to? Is it DLA, PIP, whatever it's called?
Disability gone.
Tony, disability living allowance was
No, it's gone.
stopped and
DLA
it was
gone.
now
It's
personal independence payment.
Local garden service.
Okay, all right. So, does anyone know of anyone that's had a similar situation like what
Can we put a
people come
poll
out
up
and said?
and see if people think that the truth will come out is jealous of Linda?
I think it sounds like she is. I'm not being smart. It sounds like she
I
is.
don't think anyone should be discussing someone else's situation, to be
I
honest.
don't know, 29, how she's got this much information on the next
If
door
my
neighbour.
neighbour knew how much, like,
what
if
I'm
my
trying to
neighbour
say.
knew how much she knew about me, I'd be worried.
Yeah.
I don't know I don't even know what my neighbour's payment is.
I don't think just because a certain person hasn't received PIP doesn't mean that you can mock somebody else, because you don't know someone's situation.
Yeah.
Oh my Christ! If you knew
She could-
Linda,
No,
You should have been on a plan for
Will,
3
no,
Right.
you need to
Can we let 29 talk? Because every time 29 comes in, the truth does, he doesn't like what she says and interrupts her. I'm going to go on mute so I don't get the blame either.
Me too.
I don't really talk too much, but like, what I'm saying is,
Shut up a minute.
just because somebody gets, someone's been awarded and the next person hasn't, you can't compare. You don't know their situation. And for you to even know that much information and put it on TikTok is not really, I don't find that very appropriate, to be honest.
oh, Linda is a bit of a gobshite.
Yeah, but how many people use wheelbarrows?
I'm asking.
Can I respond? I've got
I
quite good.
want to ask, like, is her uncle like Al Pacino or something? Because this drug dealer shouldn't be moving that amount of drugs in a wheelbarrow.
Can Linda ship it to Ireland? I'll happily take it.
All right, now listen, that's enough. All right, that's enough. Seriously, that's enough now, yeah?
Can I respond?
Do you
I've got
want
something productive to say. The truth. Can I just say something? Like with the guy that you've been working for, getting the PIP for and everything.
Yeah.
Do you think that him not getting more than 3 years is the fault of your friend's neighbour?
No, not at all.
No. So why is it relevant? Why are we not talking about the system being corrupt and
Yeah,
the system
that's
being wrong?
exactly. You're exactly right. That's what's wrong. The system is absolutely corrupt.
Because you've got personality
Do you know what? These PIP assessment people, they're not medically trained.
No, do you know what the problem is? Is they're not. Well, what you get is a lot of paramedics doing PIP assessments. So and they're set targets. They're set certain amounts that they have to pass and they don't have to pass. So it's money driven.
I don't agree with that now, to be fair, because you could have, what happens if it goes over their quota? Just say their quota is 50 people that have genuine disabilities.
It's all
So
money
does that mean
driven.
that the rest doesn't get it?
So if you look
I'm also
into
aware if you do want a qualified medical professional to look over your assessment, you can request that on your file of appeal. But I didn't know if you already know that.
yeah, I know. And
Okay.
the appeal process is really long. But most of the professionals that do PIP stuff are
Someone
paramedics.
needs to mute in between because there's a lot of feedback coming from the mics, people. There's a lot of feedback.
Sorry.
So I don't know whose mic it is. I don't know.
I'm 23 stone and I've got a fan next to my bed.
All right then. But yeah, a lot of the stuff that the PIP assessments are done by people who are set targets. So, for prime example, when Lee first went through his PIP assessment, Lee's a mod from the 60s, so he's always well dressed. It doesn't matter how sore he is, how much he can't get out of bed, like all the rest of it. He makes himself look nice. And one of the things they put down on his PIP assessment was, well, you can't be that bad because you look smart and you're well turned out. And one of the things we were told about his next PIP assessment we went through was, don't dress nicely, wear stained jogging bottoms, wear a dirty t-shirt. And that to him was alien, because no matter how sore he is, how bad he feels, for him, getting dressed and making himself feel nice was a good thing. But to go through his last PIP assessment, he had to wear stained jogging bottoms and a shitty t-shirt because that's what they wanted to do.
And your statement, yeah, to feel good, you've got to dress good. But I can promise you, I have filled in plenty of PIP forms, and I have never come across the question where I have thought I've got to put shitty clothes on to get the points.
So do you
Hold
do
on,
PIP assessment?
I listen to you because a lot of people on PIP also have carers, and carers have a duty of care to make sure people are well dressed and well presented. So don't tell me that you had to dress.
No,
What?
so do you do PIP assessments then?
I can't disclose my job role, but
Right,
I can
okay.
reassure you it's not done by the DWP. It's outbound to a company called Capita, yeah, and they do not ask you, do you have dirty clothes on?
No. They
Because-
came out to see him. They came out to see him and said, so
But-
Lee is an old school mod.
Doesn't
So-
matter if he was the
No,
oldest mod in the
no.
country.
No, wait, listen, I'm talking. So Lee is an old school mod. So he had on like nice clothes for the day. And the guy's words to him were, well, there can't be that much wrong with you. You were dressed nice and you presented yourself nice. And he
Excuse
marked
me.
that down.
I can tell you of a case where there was a man who was assessed in a whole three-piece suit with a tie on because that's the way he dressed for years.
Yeah.
Let me reassure you, he wasn't rejected his PIP because he was dressed smartly.
No, I'm not saying to you that Lee was rejected his PIP because he was rejected smartly. You're not getting this at all. What I'm saying to you is...
Is it just me, everyone, or did everyone else hear what I heard?
Yeah, I heard what you heard, and I'm going to ask you a
I've
question.
had
if you don't
people
mind.
being turned down for the same reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
Because
was
he
one.
took pride in the way he looked.
There was one,
That
there was
as well,
one
there can't be
guy.
that much wrong with you.
There was one guy who had like an amputee leg, and obviously for someone like that, you know that they're going to find it hard to do day-to-day things, and he got turned down. It was in the papers.
Yeah.
So there are situations like that. Yeah, there are.
So they basically
Was it in the
said to him,
papers
you're
because
taking
of his
pride in the
clothing?
way you look.
29, was it in the papers because of his clothing?
Yeah.
No, not because of his clothing. He took it to the papers because he had a kidney something problem, amputee. He had like serious problems that that person will not be able to do day-to-day things. They need, with one leg, you definitely need a lot of help. So at the end of the
You're
day,
going to need help around the house, cooking,
Yeah.
washing.
Oh yeah,
cleaning.
that's different. But the truth seems to be saying that it's because of somebody's clothing. Now I don't know. I'm in Ireland, so I don't know.
No. You're
it
getting
goes on evidence as well. A lot of evidence there needs to
Yeah,
be.
you need
And
medical.
that's how I mean it.
records.
It's medical evidence that needs to
Yeah, you
back
need
it up.
medical
You're getting
records.
this all wrong. Am I
No, we're not getting it wrong.
You're not.
Can I
You
jump
said
in?
because they weren't dressed. Oh, sorry, because he was dressed too nice.
Listen.
So basically, you've got to turn up with two left shoes on, holy trousers, and a vest.
Tony, can I jump in
Can I
next?
just say to you,
Yeah, go ahead to the accountant. Just say, can I jump in quick? Go ahead.
That was me. Hiya, Night. Thanks for having me on your live.
You're more than welcome.
I currently receive PIP. I've got bipolar disorder, and I work. So, like, I try and do the best I can. Like, I do gardening. I don't have a wheelbarrow, but if I did, I'd probably use it. Yeah, so, like, not all disabilities are visible. Like, I've had PIP for...
But when you
Most of my adult life.
when you went for your assessments, did you dress smartly or?
just casual. Just the way I normally dress.
Okay.
I've been refused PIP before, and I took it to a tribunal and won. What else was I going to say? Yeah, the reason that your friend might only be getting PIP for 3 years is because his conditions might deteriorate, and the assessors might be able to see that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why. And
Yeah.
maybe this other lady is getting it for longer because she's been on PIP for longer.
Yeah.
And she's got, like, she doesn't need to be reassessed because they already know that she's not going to get any worse.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Point there,
After
T-Bag.
so many years, they do grant indefinite, so you'll never have to apply for PIP again. You'll have little calls every couple of years, but if they can see that you're not getting any better, your medication's only getting stronger, yeah. And I'm not saying that your mate who got blew up is ever going to get his legs back or ever going to get his arm back. But potentially, at the minute, he's able to sit up in a wheelchair. He's able to get himself around on one of them electric chairs. You know, within time, that could get worse. So they will have to look at him and say, do you know what? 3 years ago, he was able to stand on get onto a perching stool and do his own washing up. But in 3 years' time, he may not have the strength to get onto that purchase stool.
agreed.
Yeah, he might need a full-time carer by then, and that's why I said earlier on, We
So
don't know
it
if
doesn't-
Linda was on a 3-year plan before her now 5-year plan, and mention what she smokes makes no difference. She could be doing that for medical reasons, pain, like to take away pain. I don't know. I'm not getting onto
and
that
that's
side
what
of
I'm
it.
saying. Medical cannabis in the UK now is so easy to get hold of. If you have, I've got 4 slip discs, yeah, I can get it, not an issue, yeah. But if you have fibromyalgia, if you suffer with PTSD, if you suffer with trauma, anything like that, you can get medical cannabis. But then what you tried to do was make that woman sound even worse when questioned, and then all of a sudden, out of your bag of tricks, you said she's a drug dealer.
Yeah, she fucking is.
Yeah,
When
but
have you got
that's her
time?
business,
Where's
though.
your proof,
When
darling?
has,
Her
yeah,
business, even if she was, that's her business.
Allegations.
when has she got time to be a drug dealer?
No, she really
She's
is.
bringing
Right,
in a
let's talk about
wheelbarrow.
this sensibly.
Are you sure she's just not
Yeah.
taking the
Just give
weed
me a
out of the
second.
garden?
No, Linda's a
Lou.
drug dealer. We know that.
Lou.
It's irrelevant anyway.
Right,
Are
the
you
truth.
sure it's not the weeds from the garden out the wheelbarrow?
No, the police know
Right,
that.
let's get this back on track.
But
So
that's
the
still her
truth.
business, though.
Yeah, well, whatever. Listen, guys, I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed. It's been an amazing night with you. Thank you so much for listening to me.
Thank you for joining as well. Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you very, very much. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Good night.
It's
Good
been a
night.
pleasure.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
We'll see you in a bit. Take care. Listen, you're welcome back here anytime. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Thank you.
Take
Thank
care,
you.
all the
Hopefully you
best.
get your neighbour, your friend sorted as well.
All the
I hope
best.
so.
Bye. Bye.
All right.
All right. Okay, we're gonna reshuffle. We're gonna shuffle around the box. That's it. Some
Tony, you
points
can
have been
pop me
cleared
out.
up.
I just wanted to say my
Oh,
story,
girl.
but you can pop me out if you need to.
No, go ahead. You're more than welcome to speak. I'm trying to give everyone a chance to speak, and I'm going to let some more people. No, there's still a couple of spaces down. I'll let some more people up as well. But go ahead, Donna. Have your
No,
say.
I just said my story about my son and I was going to hospital for 16 years. But you can pop me out if you need space.
And
No,
I'll
no,
pop
that's
down.
fine. You can wait up here. There's still a couple of spaces, and there's a couple of people waiting here. So I'm going to let a couple of people up. I'll let David up, and then I'm going to let what's that account glow up in afterwards. I'm not going to fill the boxes up, so I got a space on standby. Who hasn't spoken? Who wanted to still have a say? Babe, did you want to?
I haven't had a say.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll drop Tony, so it's easier for you to work round.
No, it's fine. It's fine that the boxes are not that full at the minute. You're more than welcome to wait in. I'd like to hear from a few people. And also,
I've been waiting to talk all night, and I haven't had a chance. But I just want to say, did anyone notice the poll that it was 100% that she was jealous of Linda and the wheelbarrow?
Yeah.
I don't know who Linda in the wheelbarrow is, but I wish her the best of luck, and Lee, the other man as well, and everybody. I wish them both the best of luck. But by the sounds of things, people, you're even lucky to get 3 years on it, and that's by the sounds of it. You're lucky to get 3 years. Do you understand
Tony,
what I mean?
can I speak on the PIP? Tony, can I speak on the PIP?
Yeah, go ahead.
Right, listen, guys, I've been trying to get PIP for the past 3 years, right? I suffer with COPD and emphysema and asthma, right? I do actually have a scooter. I have not been out of my house for 3 years since I've owned this scooter, right? I have been turned down for 3 years for PIP, right?
What reason?
So, hold on, let me explain. I have been turned down for PIP, right? Now, last year, I think September of last year, I was given all the instructions from the hospital consultant of all the medication that I'm on. I am on the maximum of medication, right? I've also been told, I'm 55, guys, I'm 55, right? I've also been told by the hospital that I'm not going to see my 60th birthday, right? Now, I sent these details in September of last year to PIP. And guess what? It wasn't a consultant of the PIP that contacted me. It was the main person herself.
Okay.
Right? All I put in that form was all in description, all in description, all in description. I didn't do anything. I just put, please see my postage, and they saw it and I saw what medication I was on. Right? Now I do get PIP. I get full mobility, but I only get part disability. Right? Now, I'm not going to be here when I'm 60 apparently to the hospital. Is that fair on me? But I could drive a forklift truck. I can earn £13.50 an hour now. £13.50 an hour now, right? If I was well enough. If I was well enough to drive it. Is that fair on me? Just to get £600 a month?
No. No, you shouldn't.
Thank you.
No, and also what you said at the beginning about they're saying you won't. I hope you see your 70th birthday, not just your 60th.
No, I'm not gonna. Now the hospital says I'm not gonna see my 60th. So between now and 5 years, Tony, you know what I mean. But is this fair on me when if I was well enough, I could earn £13.50 to £15 an hour? Is this fair on me?
No, I don't think it is. That's just my opinions, but everyone else is entitled to an opinion, but I don't think it is.
Absolutely, Tony, because like I've always been a worker. When I left school, right, I was on a YTS scheme, right, painter and decorator. But when I was 17, I worked in a foundry. And when I worked in a foundry at the age of 17, I was there till I was 20, right? And then I moved off from the foundry work into factory work as a press operator. So I've always paid my way. And now all I get, because my wife works, I cannot get universal credit, right? She gets, I think it's something like £22,000 a year, right? But now, because I can't work, I'm being discriminated to get £600 a month, where I would prefer to go out to work if I can still do it. Do you understand, yeah?
So you're stuck. Without that extra, you're stuck.
I'm stuck. I can't do nothing, Tony. I can't do nothing. I'm a forklift driver. I drive counterbalance drivers. I drive anything and whatever. I've got licenses, but I just can't do it, Tony, anymore. Because if I go over the slightest bump with my CLPD and whatever, my lungs cramp up. So I can't do it. Even if I go out in a car now, and you know the speed bumps.
Yeah.
I can't go out in a car because as soon as I go over the speed bumps, it shakes my lungs and it causes me to have like. Guys, all I'm gonna say is COPD and emphysema, right? People are saying cancer is the worstest thing ever, but you know what? People with cancer can get painkillers and this and that, right? And help them relax. I'm not disrespecting people with cancer, I'm not doing that at all. But with people with COPD and emphysema, There's no cure. There's no painkillers. There's no nothing, guys.
And
We have to
David,
put.
I'm 35 years of age and I'm diagnosed with COPD, and there's nothing but there's a tablet called Montelukas, and all that does is just release the sticky stuff that is squeezing our lungs. That's what I know. I know how you feel with the COPD. It's horrible, mate.
100%, but I got emphysema on top of that, which is stage 2 of COPD. So if you understand that, yeah. But you know what, guys? It's a horrible thing to go through. But yeah, PIP gives you £600 a month, where this is down to smoking, right? It's all down to smoking. The government brought smoking into this equation, right? Now, all they offer you is patches and whatever to quit smoking, right? But if you've been smoking for years and years, like I have, 45 years and on, this is where the emphysema comes in, which is class 2 of COPD, right? And all the government are giving you is £600 a month.
Okay, so can I ask you a question? So when was the last time I'm confused because you're saying it's £600 a month, but did you not say that you were refused it?
Now I'm getting the £600 a month off PIP.
Well, you should be on a higher rate. That's what you're saying.
I think I should be on more than £600 a month, right? I get the full mobility, but I get the low disability.
I've got
right?
you. Yeah.
Right? Now, £600 a month, Tony, is what I'm saying is if I was well enough, I could be driving a forklift truck or whatever and getting like 1,500 quid a month, 1,600 quid a month.
So is there higher rates? When you say there was another rate that you were on, is there higher rates that give you more than 600?
Yeah, it goes to just over £800 a month.
Yeah, so you get the mobility side of it and then the daily living side of it. So the mobility side of it is where a lot of people get the mobility cars and stuff like that. The daily living side of it is your washing, your dressing, your cooking, your walking. You know, that's where it then goes up to £800 a month.
I've got you now. I've got you. Autumn, we're going to move to Autumn quickly. Autumn, how are you?
I'm okay. It's just some of these things. It was just like, 'cause I'm on PIP and I've been chronically sick now for 5 years. I'm sorry if I sort of autistic and I get dead nervous.
No worries.
So,
don't worry. Don't be nervous. Yeah.
So for mobility, I get low rate. Yet for the past 3 years, I am completely housebound and in a wheelchair, but I still get low rate. As for to do with clothes and the way you look, because I put makeup on, and the first time I went, I got turned down because I refused to stand up because I asked if she was medically trained because I pass out on standing, and she said no. So I said, well, then I would prefer that you don't make me do this, please, because I will literally pass out. On my paperwork, they put me down that I was uncompliant and refused to part of the interview. So for the first nearly 3 years, I didn't get a penny. Previously, I ran a pub, and so we were comfortable as with my family, and then this struck out of nowhere. So I've got a condition called autonomia, which has got comorbidities of POTS, and I've got other things. I have seizures with hemiplegic. But to sum that up, all it means is everything in my body that we don't have to think about to do, digest, breathe, heart rate, doesn't work correctly. So I have tachycardia constantly. I'm on 17 medications a day, and I'm still having to have yearly assessments. I have had to win an appeal that took me nearly 11 months because they said I could talk. And the system shouldn't be like this, but I know everyone's like got a different story. What we should be worrying about is if this changes to vouchers, how many times do you need to actually buy a mobility aid? Once? I had to buy my own wheelchair.
It definitely won't change the vouchers 100% because at the end of the day, if
You can't
you've
say
got a
that though, because obviously
scooter,
they've ignored the green paper. I waited for 12 months, Tony, to get a wheelchair. I couldn't even leave the house at all.
That is,
And in the
that is
end,
crazy to hear that. That is.
And I was on a list. I was on a
So
list for
basically,
one.
they wanted you to prove the part of the assessment. They wanted you to pretty much faint or collapse, and they wanted that was your way of proving it by standing up when you
Yeah,
said
and I've got a little implant in my chest that tracks my heart rate for it'll be for 3 years, this one, so it's out next year. To constantly give my cardiologist a window, let's say, of how my heart functions because of the severe tachycardia. Now that's from the autonomia. And for me, standing up is literally like I've run a marathon. My heart rate will go up to the 200s, everything goes black, and I black out.
Wow.
If I eat, I pass out. And all I asked was, because somebody had warned me, was ask them if they're medically trained. And she said no, so I was like, I'd rather not do it, please, unless I've got somebody who can look after me. And I lost. I had to appeal. And how I won the appeal was I said, if I could get my life back and get out of this chair, I will pay you back every penny. I'm using the money that I'm hoping to get to try and get answers to get me better. And I won the appeal based on that. But it is disgusting how people are having to fight when most people on PIP, not all, we all know everyone can fibs, they have to basically be degraded, belittled, and then going all through it again with threat of losing the money when you've already lost so much of your life when you're on something like that. It's disgusting.
absolutely 100%. And this is what I was saying. I waited 3 years like yourself, right, before I could prove to PIP what was wrong with me and to get the hospital prescriptions and whatever you have to prove to the government what is wrong with me. Our doctors, our surgery doctors don't know fuck all, guys. At the end of the day, our doctors don't work for us. They don't do nothing for us. It's the hospitals. Sorry about my language. I apologise.
Okay, I just want to ask you. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I apologise. I'll let you continue back on in a second. I just want to say, I stumbled across this PIP debate just by mistake. If anyone was on from the previous live feed, you'll understand why we started this off. Now, this wasn't meant to be, so I've got hardly any knowledge about these vouchers. Have they threatened to introduce vouchers?
It's all, there was I can't remember what they called it, green something, where people on PIP could have their say. It's been on about it when our last beautiful Prime Minister, I'm being sarcastic, he actually proposed it, and everyone was hoping that Starmer would throw it out, and he's carrying it forward. So the time for people on PIP and disability benefit to have their say, as it's gone, that's gone. But the laugh was the link didn't work on UK Gov site at all. I done it through so many different, like on different on my iPad, on my phone. Other friends that I know have said tried it on theirs, it didn't work. So to get your say of how you felt about the vouchers was hard pickings. But it will be basically. I think it will. I think I'm not going to argue if it will or it won't, but I think it will.
I don't put anything past. I don't put anything past the government.
They're already cutting it, Tony.
Yeah.
To mental health was the first ones they were attacking, and now Mind and charities stood up and tried to get this rejected. So the first ones they were going for to pick off was people with mental health illnesses. Now that was all over the telly, not just on the news.
Can I just say something on that subject, right? If the vouchers are going to happen, right, is our electricity bills going to be accepting vouchers because we need to charge our mobility scooters and whatever.
I don't know. You'll have to
Right.
write to Mr. Slam. I can't answer that.
And it's not just that. You got the older people as well who uses lifts and whatever to get in and out of bed, also in and out of a bath. Our electricity people can accept vouchers. If not, then it's not going to happen. Sorry, Tony.
No,
don't worry.
For me, I think it's going to happen and then fail. I think they'll push it through to try and prove a point because they think that the bill's too big, and then it'll have to be, oh shit, excuse my
Yeah,
French.
backtrack. They're
messed up.
backtracking. Just like
need
half
to
the other
find
things that's happened.
Yes,
You know, they
I
give it a
think-
go, see how it works. If it runs and people are happy, then yeah, they're happy. But you know, 9 times out of 10, it might fail. But yeah, you got a point there, David. How does it go about with the electric side? But I'm sure if they are pushing that forward or talking about pushing it forward, I'm sure
It's on
that
the
they'll have a
website,
team
Tommy.
working on it. Yeah, they'll have a team working on it. And please believe me, they look into every option to make that possible and then introduce it. And that's it. If they've already speaking about
When
it,
have they ever made the proposal that they've then not put
It's
through?
not- it's
So
just
that's
what
why this is
happened.
going through.
yes. All right.
It won't happen.
This Glow Up account has been waiting for ages. I'm sorry about that. How are you doing?
It's okay. Thanks for letting me on anyway.
No worries. You're more than welcome. I'm sorry about the wait.
No, don't worry, don't worry. I did,
Hey,
honestly,
sweetheart.
I did wait because I've never come across a PIP live before, and it's a subject that I'm really, really passionate about.
Yeah, go ahead. You can have a say. You're more than welcome. You can have a say.
Yeah, I was listening to The Truth Will Set You Free, but first it'll pee you off. But obviously I didn't get to respond to her. But I think what she was completely missing was this idea that actually PIP is completely not income based, so it is not supposed to be financially reliable as an income. It's supposed to be income. It's supposed to be support. Supporting things like aid, like David said, if he needs to, charge up a mobility scooter, help your living circumstances and things like that. Me personally, I suffer from Crohn's disease, diagnosed.
Sorry to hear that, girl.
Oh, it's okay, thank you. But yeah, I was diagnosed, happy to be diagnosed at the age I was, but also not happy because it's still quite young. But I got to live some life without knowing about it, and that was quite nice. Personally, I currently, up to this point, have never and won't apply for PIP. I don't feel like I would get PIP, even though I am eligible to apply. I think I would get turned down. Most people with Crohn's, they do try and make it. They do like to say, "Oh, make out it's your worst day." Tell them all the things how it would be on your worst day. Me personally, I'm a dance teacher and I work in Senko. I'm doing all sorts all day. I'm running about. Adrenaline gets me through half the time, and I'm just trying to work hard and get some money in my bank. So I just feel like it's wrong. The only thing that I did ask for and I got turned down was a blue badge, just to support me if I'm ever in an urgent situation and I need to find somewhere to stop. But I didn't get it, and that's absolutely fine. And that just sort of reflected why I wouldn't apply for PIP myself. However, I have got 2 family members. 3 family members. I've got one family member who has the same thing as me. She's of a younger age than me, and she has got access to PIP, which is great for her. And I think this is where the other lady, I forgot her name now, was going wrong, because we don't need to blame the person who is getting it, because at the end of the day, like we said, it could be anyone. It could be people that are working day to day, but if they need support in other ways, if they've got something they can spend that money on, then they may get PIP. I also have my mother who had an aneurysm on the brain. She's got bipolar, she had bipolar my whole life. She lost me when I was 7. she had an aneurysm on the brain. It wasn't until she had brain surgery. And now I read her rejection letter from PIP, and I couldn't believe it. I was so angry. She was lying in a hospital bed because she'd just finished brain surgery. So I was able to pop and get it on her behalf. And I read this letter and I couldn't believe that this man had purely assessed her and turned her down based off of what looked like his opinions.
Wow.
I was like, okay, so she basically said in this assessment that was a couple of months before her surgery, I do struggle to do this, I struggle to get in and out of the shower, which she does because she's diagnosed epileptic as well. So that's how they found out she had an aneurysm, because she was having seizures regularly. So it is scary for her to be alone, because obviously you can have a seizure whenever. So eventually, after the brain surgery and an appeal, about 3 years later, they had to backdate everything from her first PIP claim. So they actually had been through this before with her, had to backdate everything and pay all the money anyway, because she'd just come out of brain surgery, and she finally got the money. She's now just had a reassessment, and she went from having lots and lots of points to absolutely zero. She's still epileptic.
Oh my God.
She's got a metal plate in her brain. She's still diagnosed bipolar. She's not allowed to work. She can't go out without a bracelet that the doctors have insisted that she has, which is like a seizure bracelet, which tells me if she's having a seizure, because we all live quite far away. And basically, she has to pay monthly for that bracelet. And she's just like, well, I can't even afford. So she's trying to get rid of that. And I'm like, well, I don't really want you to get rid of it. But she can't get PIPs. They've just rejected her. So she's
let me just grasp what you just said.
Yeah.
So now after the reassessment, right? So they tried to refuse her first time around. They looked into it again, backdated her. And now, after the update or whatever length of time goes by, they're now trying to say that she's 0 points, that there's absolutely nothing wrong with her.
Yeah, basically.
And
on paper, and and again, she's on lots of meds. I think it was Autumn and David both said, on lots of meds. It's quite obviously. I do wish I could live. I mean, she's moved a bit closer to me, so she's only an hour away now. But I do worry about her being on her own. But I am personally not in a position where I can, go over and move in with her just yet, because I am also trying to get my everything on the ground for me, and trying to have some things in life that maybe I've never had before. But personally, I've also got an auntie who, she's reappealed, and she got her appeal rejected. She's stage 4 lung cancer. She's not allowed to work. She got let off from work. I wouldn't like to say that she is terminal, but it's not looking good. She has been into remission a couple of times, so fingers crossed. But again, it's the same situation. Now, I would never put a blame on the young person in our family who we know that has the same issue as me, who has Crohn's disease. I'd never put the blame on her for getting it, but there are flaws in the system, because she does care for herself and she cares for her children. But it's not the problem that she is getting it, it's the problem that other people are not getting it, and it's what's
Heidi, can I say something? I'm sorry to interrupt, but
no, it's fine.
With me for 3 years, right? I've suffered with COPD and emphysema, right? Every time I've got a job, they want me to do something that I cannot do. So I've had to quit that job, right, for 3 years, right? And on top of that, I've been turned down for 3 years for PIP, right? So here's what I've done this year. I went on the go, scans and everything else and whatever. Now I'm on maximum medication. there's nothing more that the hospital or doctors can do for me. I've also been told I'm not going to see my 60th birthday, right? I'm 55, right? So this letter, what I had off the hospital, I put it into PIP and I put no comment, no comment, no comment. See the form, no comment on the last one, right? Now, when I sent that back, it was not a trainee PIP assessor or whatever that found me. It was the actual PIP person herself. And she found me and she said, I need to ask you one question. And I said, yeah, what's that? She says, how far can you walk? I says, well, if I'm in bed, I'll go to the toilet. By the time I get back in bed, I have to have a nailer, right? She says, you know what? You are going to get PIP no matter what. But this took me 3 years to realise you need to send your doctor's notes, your everything that you got proof of your health into the PIP assessment, everything. You know, I'm sorry, Tony. Sorry, mate.
No, don't worry. And I just want to say, does anyone listening in the chat? Obviously, I know we got silent watchers, we got people here, and you're all welcome. Yeah, you're all welcome. Does people believe that they've made a complete mess up in the system where they've passed and accepted so many potential false claims that they don't know where they stand anymore?
My opinion,
100%.
no, I believe what it is the government have not educated people enough to believe and understand. In the human's eye, you just can't always see what is going on the inside. Yeah, my opinion is not all disabilities are visible. So
No, that's not my point. My point here is they do sometimes, like they can investigate a claim and so on. Do you think with certain claims, and I'm not saying, obviously I know there's a lot of people, and obviously I totally agree with what you're saying. You know, people can suffer and it's not something you can see in the outside. I totally 100% agree with that. But what I'm saying is, if they've gone into, you know, looking into people's claims and really either monitor them, or if they've got teams that go out to check up on them, you know how because I'm sure they've got some sort of undercover side of it to check out on some of these claims, yeah. Otherwise, there wouldn't be people getting done for either benefit cheats or whatever like that, right? I'm saying, have they actually, you know, done a lot of investigating and realised, oh, we've got this wrong with this person has convinced us that they can't, you know, like they can't walk, or they can't do this, or they've got this back problem, or so on and so on. And then they've gone to look into that and check it up, and they found that this person is actually, you know, in control of everything. And now they're at a stage where they're struggling with what they can and can't accept.
Yeah, they can't reverse their decision then.
Exactly.
I agree where you're coming from there. Is it Edie or Eddie? Sorry, Tony, if I interrupt.
No, go ahead.
Edie or Eddie, sorry if I pronounce your name wrong. Is there no way that, like, a councillor or local TD, now that's what we call it here in Ireland, is there no way that anybody there can help?
So the equivalent would be your MP over this side, or someone from the local council, maybe, yeah.
From the local council. Is there nobody that can actually help with your investigation?
So we have. So basically, we are looking with. She spoke to a local MP. She's also basically, she was working with. There was a department that won her appeal last time. So the last time she appealed, there was this brilliant department that she was so excited. Well, I say excited. I mean as excited as she can be to get reappealing a new claim. But she was looking forward to getting back with this woman in this department who had previously won her last appeal, and they have just shut down the apartment. Sorry, did I say the apartment? Gosh, it's 326, right? The department, sorry.
You know
the
what?
department. I can't 326, right? So they shut down the department. closed it down. The woman was like, I'm so sorry, because it was only a small one. So now she's under the brain charity because she has got obviously a brain injury, and she's under, she's going through Citizens Advice. So she is getting support through the brain charity Citizens Advice, and she has had contact with the local MP to try and support her through this. At this same time, she's been absolutely going through it she was in a part by part rent apartment. She's absolutely been going through it, and stress is a massive cause of her seizures. And the whole part by part rent is an absolute scam. I do apologise if you really enjoy it.
No worries. Jay up the top, how are you keeping? Good morning.
There are amazing groups on Facebook that you can join, and they can give you some of the best advice to fill with these forms in. They're free services. You know, some of them will show how many pass rates or qualified they've got back. You know, they're very good groups to join because these forms are so hard, they're so tricky, and you need to be it may be the simplest question, but it's how they've worded it. So it's a bit like a theory test, but these groups on Facebook are amazing.
Hello.
How you doing, Jay?
I'm not bad, thanks. How are you guys?
I'm good. Are you in to speak about the claims?
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah. So, my experience, I learned quickly, and it's going to sound, I don't want to sound that, I don't agree with people playing the system, okay, and I'm far from doing that. I'm type 1 diabetic, I'm severely partially sighted, I had 2 detached retinas, I've just had a heart bypass, I had a heart attack, and I'm now on dialysis.
So chew it up, brother.
You know, waiting kidney pancreas transplants. So I've got a lot going on. And I applied for PIP a couple of years back. And I was refused. And I just thought, this is disgusting. Like, I was a skilled carpenter by trade. I've always worked. I've always paid my way. You know, this is not a lifestyle choice, and I'm sure that's the same for a lot of you, all of you, you know?
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
So I come back now after they refused me, and I've done some research, and they don't care about the individual's needs. Okay.
Can I ask you a question on that, right?
Yes.
Can I ask you a question, right? On that subject of what you're saying, right, sorry to interrupt, right, but on that subject, now, if you get disability, right, maximum that you get is £800 a month, right? Now, if it wasn't for this disability, you could probably be earning £2, £3, £4, maybe £5,000 a month.
Easily. The money I used to earn was ridiculous, mate, honestly.
Okay, continue
absolutely,
on, Jay.
and this is what. Sorry, Tony.
No, don't worry, Dave. Go ahead, Jay. Continue on.
Basically, what I'm saying is, I've done my research. I've looked online, and they've actually got it there. You can go on the Gov website yourself and see this yourself. It's a bullet point system. Okay, you can have no arms, you can have no legs, you can have a hole in your head. It does not matter. They want to hear their criteria. Can you cook? Can you prepare food? Can you dress yourself? How many times a week do you wash? These are answers they want to hear. They don't care what your individual need is. They have a point system, and it's in black and white, and you can see it for yourself. So I've
noticed as well over the years with helping people that sometimes they put the same question in twice.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
To see if you answer it different.
And they might just word it differently to catch you out or something. I don't. And now this is another thing I learned. Okay, from the minute you arrive at the assessment centre, they are assessing you. Hence why it's called an assessment centre. When I walked in, the first thing they said to me before I was even in the interview room, "How did you get here today?" When you sign in. Now that's them already assessing you before you're in that room.
Correct.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Correct.
If you say, "Oh, I got the bus," or "I rode," or "I drove," or they're already on straight away. You need to say, I come accompanied with somebody, and I come by in a cab, in a taxi.
Yeah.
And I know it's the truth, and it's not playing the system. You're playing it. You're telling them what they want to hear.
Yeah, exactly. Because listen, if you're capable of getting yourself up, getting ready, making your way
And that's how
down
they
to the
look at it.
assessment
And
centre,
that's how they look at it.
already you're losing points. I know that sounds bad, but
it's the
already
truth.
it's the truth. Yeah, already you're losing points.
And I believe the government's to blame to this, because
And then
they're
what
showing
happened?
people that if you go on benefits, it's better for you to get benefits and work 9 till 5. You get your
Well-
rent paid, your water paid. You know, that's
I'm
how
not-
I see it.
In my case, I was better off working, if I'm completely honest with you. Not just the money side of things, my mental health, being out, being at work, doing things, socialising, talking to people in new places, seeing new faces. Yeah. But what I learned when I went back and done the research and then went back, bang, I got full PIP because I told them what they wanted to hear. So I'm just putting it out there for you guys. And it's not, I generally need it. I'm partially blind. I'm on dialysis. I've had a heart attack. I'm type 1 diabetic. I've got a lot going on like the rest of the majority of you. And to be turned down for something you're depending on so you can live. You know, I have dietary needs. I have certain specific needs that I have to, I can't do that on £300 a month.
Yeah.
Absolutely, 100%. I totally agree with you. It's like me on 700.
You know, Jay, I want to ask you a question. So
Yeah.
no matter what or who walks in front of them, they couldn't care less whether
No.
you are in a and I bless my face saying this, whether people are in a wheelchair, whether people are on crutches. All they care about is that certain set of
criteria.
questions being answered.
Yes, 100%, 100 million %. And that's what the point system is based on.
It's the same
What
here,
they're-
Tony. It's the very, very same here.
It's their criteria. And that's why I heard the woman earlier talking, I don't know if she's still in the live now, the lady that was in the wheelchair and she got refused. They do not care. They have a point
No, they
system.
don't.
And I generally think they get bonuses every time they dismiss somebody.
They do. If you go on the Capital website, there is.
Tony, can I just say, someone keeps muting me, bro.
All right, go ahead. Sorry, say that again, because David, unfortunately, it was a few times you were interrupting, but you can come back up in a second. Glow up. Go ahead. Continue what you were saying. Sorry.
Yeah, if you go on the Capital website, there is a link, because if I've looked into obviously PIP and who runs it, because I think they're a shambles, but. If you go on their website, it will explain a little bit about what they have to turn down and what they have to turn away, and how many people they're allowed to let in, and if they might get a little treat when they do turn someone away. Because at the end of the day, they're saving people money, and I don't think half of the people who are doing the assessments, I wouldn't. If they are medical professionals, then I don't know. I think they want their medical degree revoking, some of them, because. Honestly, to just base your like a baseless opinion to say, oh no, you don't, I think you can do that, because literally half the time that is what it is. No, I think you would be able to do that. You're telling me you can, or you're telling me you struggle with it, but no, I think you will be able to do it. But I completely agree with, he's just gone. Who was that guy in that little box?
That's right.
Luke, he's jumped out. He'll probably jump back in a second.
Yeah.
He's jumped out for a minute. Yeah.
Well, when Luke is saying, like, obviously it's not always something you can see, and I completely sympathise with that, because, I mean, personally, I look like this little bouncy around deer running about the place, and some days I do have bad days, and I do want to sit down on the tram or somewhere, and I have a sit down, and I do get funny looks if someone who maybe feels that they need that seat a little bit more than me. Needs to sit in it, and do you know what? Half the time I will stand and I will lean on the side or something, because most of the time I'm fine. But we do have off days. I'm on immunosuppressants, So personally, if I was to get PIP, which, like I've said, I wouldn't apply currently, but if I was to get PIP, that would help me with things like helping to get someone in. Because as much as I'd love to rave and pretend I'm Kim and Aggie, but I'm not the most thorough cleaner. Because half the time I don't have time. It would help me get my house clean because I am at massive risk of infection. I'm on a biologic called adalimumab. I have self-injections every 2 weeks. And just little things like that. And like Cookie, Jay was saying, nutrition, like I can't eat certain things. There's so many things that I can't eat. If I eat them, I'll end up in hospital again. Or there's lots of things that my body won't soak up the nutrients, so I get lots of supplements to try and counteract the fact that my body struggles to take in vitamins and minerals. So just little things like that that would help you get by, even though half the time I look perfectly fine. So I do get what Luke was saying as well.
So so all of these little bits are obviously adding up, and with what they're doing to people. I'm really shocked with what I'm hearing from Jay about. Pretty much, it's like a game of bingo. As soon as you tick the correct boxes, boom, you've got it.
Yeah.
You know, and that is disturbing people. You know, that needs to be looked into. It. 29. Thanks for joining, and good night to you. That is disturbing to know that they're not actually really looking into anything. They're just looking at a couple of boxes, and they're determining someone's life by what has been ticked.
That's true.
It's
That's
crazy.
actually true, Tony, because here, like when my son was born, as I said, he was born with a birth defect. He was also born extremely premature. It was the actual hospital where he was born taught me to apply for it. I don't know the paperwork. They gave me the paperwork as well. Like, said, oh no, you're entitled, because we had to travel up and down to the hospital, as I said earlier on, and I was still refused, and I still went up 16 years without getting anything.
Oh wow,
Because it wouldn't help, like.
You know, my first.
It's costing. It costs €90. Well, 85 something. So you might as well say €90 every time. And during COVID, like, he had an operation, and I had to travel every single week without fail. And I had to pay €90 up and down. That's not including expenses that I pay up there, like for food and stuff like that. And I had to pay that myself because I wasn't entitled to anything. And I didn't want, like, PIP, as you call it, we don't call it that here, a medical travel pass. And they refused that as well.
Wow.
Donna, what's it called over there then?
So it'd be like carers.
Yeah.
Carers allowance.
Yeah.
Okay, River, so welcome. I know you've been waiting to have a say. How are you keeping this morning?
I'm okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, go ahead. You can have a say. I think I don't know if you got a chance.
I have got a lot.
Sorry, who's removing people from the boxes? I don't know who's removing people from the boxes. Can we please not remove anyone from the boxes? And can whoever was in the boxes come in, unless they remove themselves? I don't know. But if anyone is removing anyone, please.
Tony, before you carry on, can I just sit down? But thanks very much for having me chat.
Listen, you're more than welcome, and I hope your situation sorts itself out. I really, really do.
Thank you.
I wish you all the best moving forward. I wish you all the best for the future. Yeah, all right.
Yeah. Bye.
Take care. All the best.
100%. 100%. Go on. Sorry.
I've got a lot to say about PIP, right? I have been through 2 tribunals. The first one I lost.
My man.
So
I'm gonna
after
jump.
that,
Okay, no worries, Stitch. Thank you.
so after that,
Catch you later, bro.
you know,
I
it
just
was
went-
a lot of stress. So I left it, you know, didn't try reclaiming it. And then a
Need to
few
share
years
that.
later, I went back to CAB, I claimed it again. And like you say, as soon as you go to that assessment centre, they are assessing you.
right? She assessed me from the minute she saw me. She put on that form that I could walk 50 metres. Now, I've got 2 discs in the bottom of my back, and the gel moves between the discs, which means the discs move, and it causes me a lot of pain. I've now got a nerve pressing on one of them. She said I could walk 50 metres. I can't. I struggle a lot. And I went through a tribunal with that one, and I won. Luckily, I won. Then I went through a reassessment, because obviously they reassess you, and I lost my PIP. And that nearly broke me. I nearly had a breakdown due to that. And then I left it again, and through other things that were going on in my life, I ended up in a couple of years ago, I ended up in through the mental health team. It was like a rehab house, and I got help from there. And the wellbeing team helped me claim PIP, which I got this time, but I only have daily living enhanced. I am not eligible, apparently, for mobility, even though I have mobility issues.
Wow. And this time around, can you appeal? You can't. Are you still entitled to appeal again against it, that decision, or?
I am entitled to appeal against it. I am due a reassessment next year, which, to be honest, I'm absolutely shitting myself about, because the only thing that I'm thinking about is, God, they're going to take it off me, because obviously they're bringing this new coupon system in, or trying to, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right. That's what we're talking about, the green card, or someone was talking about. Yeah, that's what they were speaking about earlier on. I'm just gonna hear from Stitch. I know he's waiting as well. Stitch, how are you?
I'm all good, mate. Yeah, I'm only here. I'm a friend of Rivers.
Oh, okay. All right. No worries. No worries.
I'm only here. I know, I'll be honest, I know nothing about PIP. I know nothing about benefits. But River is an amazing person, and I'm here to support her.
Yeah, that's fine. You're more than welcome there. You're more than welcome. Not a problem at all. I thought you were waiting also to speak. That's why I was going to give you a chance.
Mate, I wish I could.
Yeah, no worries.
I wish I knew more about it. The system that is in place, as far as I can see, doesn't work.
It's failing plenty of people by the sounds of it.
It needs changing. And the way they're changing it ain't for the better, it's for the worse.
Of course it is, especially like you're saying, it's going to affect a lot of it. If they switch that up, you know, and the struggles is already happening, and then they start switching up to the vouchers and stuff, it's going to complicate a lot of things. River, go back to that appeal that you said. So if just say, for example, if you tried to appeal that now.
Yeah. If I tried to appeal it now, the chances are that I would lose all my PIP. That's what I've been told.
Also, so they do actually. So for you to appeal the decision that they made, if you disagree, it could be a case of, right, okay, well, you're not happy with that. And I'm not saying it in that way, but that's how these people will look at you and think, right, well, let me take, out of spite, let me take everything.
Yeah, they would take away my enhanced. 100%. They will take away my enhanced daily living component, which I get from my mental health issues. They will take it away from me.
Wow. So after you've appealed once, you'd be scared to question it again.
Well, it's a way of saying, right, yeah, well, listen, here's a gamble now, yeah? You want to do it the first time, but second time round, you're putting everything on the line here now.
Yeah.
And that's a bullying, that's unfair for people actually saying, listen, that this, you know, you've got that wrong, and by explaining to them that they've got it wrong, they're willing to strip you of everything.
Yeah,
that is horrible.
Like you said, as soon as you walk in that assessment centre, they are assessing you. Before I claimed again, and obviously I took it to tribunal last time, she lied. She completely lied, because what people don't know is the assessor's report, you are entitled to have a copy of that, right? And I don't think a lot of people know about this, but you are. you're entitled to have a copy of that report. And believe me and my worker at the time, we went through it with a fine tooth comb, and she lied about everything I said. She said that I refused to do the physical assessment that she asked me to do. And what I actually said to her was, if she wanted me to do what she asked me to do, then she would be picking me up off the floor or phoning for an ambulance because I wouldn't be able to get up. Well, she put on the form that I refused to do it. I didn't refuse to do it. I gave her an explanation of why I couldn't do it.
Is that assessment like handwritten or like tick boxes, check boxes?
It's basically check boxes.
There you go.
And they're sat in front of a laptop.
So it's yes or no.
Yes.
And we had something similar to what you just said, River. With a lady that was in here, she just literally left about 10, 15 minutes ago. I know she's still in the chat, but she had the same thing. They tried to get her to stand up.
Yeah.
And she just was trying to explain that if I do, I'm going to faint. She explained her conditions that she had, and she spoke about it here on the live. And that is what they tried to fail her for, similar to exactly what you said.
Yeah. They will say that you have refused that part of the assessment, even if you give them an explanation. You can ask for the assessment to be recorded, but you have to ask them for the recording equipment, which they will actually supply. You're not allowed to supply your own recording equipment.
So you can't go in with your phone?
You're not allowed to go in there and put your phone on and record it on your own phone. But if you want the interview to be recorded, you have to ask them at least 2 or 3 weeks in advance, or maybe longer. You can have the assessment recorded.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's PIP?
Get out of here. If you don't know what you're talking about, I'm not explaining it to you. Don't let anyone up. I look through the profiles and I will bring the people up. Listen, no, I won't add you, please. And I'll tell you what, you can see what's on the screen, you can hear what we're talking about, you're coming up acting a fool. Don't think you're coming in here trolling me at all this morning.
I appreciate. I don't know about benefits or anything like that. What I do know, I've got a brother who's got MS, and I think River might know about this.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. He's heavily in a wheelchair and all that, and he don't get much assistance and help. And he's lucky that he's actually got a job.
Has he tried to apply for this? Yeah.
Right. So I say to him, get this, try and get this, try and get that, because I see people getting help that probably shouldn't be, and he's quite headstrong, and he goes, I don't want to do that, I don't want to do that, I don't want to do that. He don't want to be not a burden on the system, but he wants to feel like he's still a person.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, I get what you mean. I understand what you're saying to you. So he's basically, I know he's pride and everything there. He does.
Yeah, that's it.
Pride. Yeah, he's pride.
Pride.
Yeah,
mannered.
Yeah. To that never after account, you're more than welcome to click the box. I'm going to let a couple more people in by 4 o'clock. I'm probably going to end this live at about 4:05. So with your brother, he obviously hasn't gone through that. Yeah, he hasn't gone through this. But by the sounds of it, if we can do a part 2 on this tomorrow, yeah, I'd love to do a part 2 on this tomorrow, because but even what age that J account that came in, they don't seem to be actually looking at the individual. They just want certain boxes that takes to give you points, and that is frightening, because I think that's why a lot of people is in here and saying they failed me for this and failed me for that. And to think that if you just ticked the box either above or below, all of that would have changed. Do you see what I mean? And it's got to that stage now with them. Yeah, if anyone wants to jump up, you're more than welcome. So, River, what are you going to do regarding your decision? Do you reckon you'll take a chance and appeal it, or you'll just?
I'm going to wait until I'm reassessed.
Yeah.
And then obviously, you know, things have happened in the last year. I was assaulted by my neighbour last September, which has obviously affected my mental health issues, and obviously my physical health hasn't, in the last couple of years, has deteriorated. So I'm going to do my reassessment, and obviously I've got a support worker and get her help with doing that, and obviously just try and explain things in the best way that I can. And
I wish you the best of luck, River, and I really hope that they actually sort themselves out, you know.
Yeah.
You know, when you do the reassessment, will you still be at risk if you appeal, or will that be a whole new, fresh thing again?
Well, I'm going to say that obviously my mobility issues have got worse, and hopefully they will award me the mobility component, and they will let me keep my enhanced daily living, but I'll just have to see, to be honest.
It's a shame. It really is a shame that people are having to go through this, because and they're quick then. You know, they're quick then to start pumping millions, if not billions, into wars all around the place.
100%.
Do you understand?
You hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah, it's the truth. And then people who's actually really is in serious need of support, they can't. They'd rather send money across to go and start unaliving people. That's not, honestly, it's disgusting.
100% agree with that.
You know, Miss Frank, good morning to you. How are you keeping?
I'm okay. I'm going to give you a bit of information.
Okay.
Right. Universal credit, right? This is to do with PIP and all that. I don't know whether any of you have noticed. There was 372 people that took the DWP to court. And they fought us all the way. And in the end, we won.
No way, you done it, yeah?
No, listen to this, Tony, right? You're going to laugh now. So when we went onto Universal Credit, we all lost our severe disabled premiums and our EDP, right? So then the court was ordered the government to pay us £180 a month, right? Which was the payment, and it was £70 on the other payment. Well, anyway, the government then, 4 years ago, said they'd only give you 120. So we've been back to the courts of the human rights, right? We've won 4 times, they can't take us back to court. Now they came back with a compensation plan, right? Well, I'm one of them people with a compensation plan, right? But now I'm reading between the lines. They offered this compensation plan, and they said that they were going to pay our EDP through migration. But now the Labour government have come in now, and do you know what? They dropped that straight away, the disabled people. So let's look out. You look at your universal credits, right? We fought, and if people got a big payment, this was a couple of years ago, we were still going to court to the human rights. Now, I'm having to get in a collection agency. If they don't pay me with the money within 12 months, I've got to pay a collecting agency to get this off the government, even though it was one for the human rights of course.
Oh, so you have to chase it as a debt.
Well, no, honest to God, listen to this, all right? Do you know how much our barrister costs for 350 people? Do you want to know the price?
I'd be shocked to hear it, but go ahead.
1.2 million.
What?
1.2 million.
Which in the scheme of things is nothing, because they've just sent 87 million to
Yeah. What, yeah, exactly.
And to put this right for us now,
It's the truth, though, Stitch. 100%.
I'm sorry.
remember,
I'm
right?
sorry. I'm
we
going to
fought,
swear.
we
but
we are fighting
fuck
for
me.
all of you. We are fighting for all of you, right? With everybody that's disabled. Now I've got an incurable disease, right? When I go for my PIP, right, they've got to get someone in that does neurosurgery. Do you know, every time I go there and have my thing, my for PIP, you know, every 10 years, I have a neurosurgeon nurse, and I'm like, you're telling me you're trying to, you've got to find somebody that's got that speciality with neuro, and you're sending a neuro nurse to give me a you know, thing. I'm like, I've just given up with this government. And now Labour, now I've noticed now, they said before they won this election, they were going to not do the voucher scheme. All of a sudden now, they're going to think about it. So what did I vote for then?
Lies.
Exactly.
So now I'm wondering now, what's happening to the compensation plan, right? Which was through UC that we sued them for, right? Are they going to sit on their ass now and just not give us every penny? Where do we go now? We've been in the courts 4 times. Human rights.
Who pays the court fees? Like, how does that work?
They do. The government.
Oh, they do.
They
Because you
do.
won, they
Because
pay
we
it.
won. So think about it. Do you know what the government have turned around and said? They've sent me a letter, right, to withdraw my claims, and not to tell anybody. And I'm opening my mouth.
Fair play.
I don't
Fair
blame
play.
you.
100%.
And Tony, I will take a photo. I don't know whether I can upload it to you. I don't know.
I have. I don't know if you use any other platform like Instagram or anything like that. I have.
I'm just warning other people, right? Don't be afraid of these governments, right? Don't be afraid of anything, even if it's taken us 7 years, right?
Wow, that's a long
7 years.
7 years.
7 years. Do you know what they offered me? Even though they owe me £7,000 of the EDP that I've lost, 7,000. They were only willing to give us £1,000 compensation. And they told in this letter, I said, when the migration goes through, that they will pay us in payment plan. Pay us in the payment plan. Payment plan for the 7,000, and they still haven't paid it.
It's a mockery. It's a mockery.
And I've got to wait 12 months now. I've got to wait another 12 months to send a collecting agency. So I've got to hire a sheriff, right? So I've got to hire a sheriff to go into the government and confiscate all this stuff in the government.
They don't put that on telly, do they? Like,
Not
they
one
take
of
it
it's
away.
been on TV. Not one of it's been on TV. This 350. Well, it was 350 that done the one, and it was 3. So if you go, let me tell you, Google 350 took DWP to court over EDP, and also put in DWP case against DWP and the court against the severe disabled premiums and the EDP. It's called EDP, right? Google it, read it.
I just want to take up Mama Wilson on this before you continue. Mama Wilson says it's a different story if you owe them, and I totally agree with that.
100% right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I've got to wait 12 months now, hire a sheriff, because that's what you got to do. You got to get through the higher court to collect it. If we don't now get paid. But you want to give us £1,000, that's the compensation, because we waited so long. And now they say, while the migration, we'll start paying you. So I wrote to them the other day, you got your little box that you got to write to them. I said, excuse me, where's my EDP? When you start paying that, no, do you know what? Not one of them have answered it. Not one of us have answered it. So it's not only PIP, it's also UC.
You know what? I'm glad you joined up there, because I think this actual because we stumbled across this from a previous live feed, and then I ended the other live feed from the other topic or debate, whatever you want to call them, that we were having, or discussion, and then we've just come on to this. But it's been very, very interesting to hear multiple people's stories, and I want to say thanks to everyone that joined the box and actually had a say.
Don't be frightened of them. Do not be frightened of them.
I really do appreciate it. But can you do me a favour, like you said about these, if it don't affect anything that's going on with you, yeah? If there is anything to share, I think maybe a part 2 of this tomorrow might be called for. I think a part 2. But if there is anything you can share without affecting your side of things, please let me know.
I don't care what they can affect me, because like I told them, I'm 57, I could be dead next week.
Oh, don't say that.
Yeah, no.
No, what I'm saying, my condition, there's no cure for it.
No.
It's a single amelia. I've had brain surgery. I go through exactly the same pips as you. And because my condition is rare, there's no cure. They always say we need to get a neurosurgeon specialist in.
Yeah,
there's
not many of them, is there?
Yeah, but no, they send a neurosurgeon, a neuro nurse, and I'm like, no, she says to me, I don't know what you're doing here.
Yeah, I totally understand. I haven't got anything wrong with me. My brother has. He's got MS, and he's neuro nurse that was really good. She quit the NHS, and since then they haven't found a replacement. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, this government, I'm like, just Google the cases, right? DWP in court with
But please don't say.
Yeah, don't affect anything. Don't affect nothing. Please,
please don't say that you're going to be.
Inform people. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid of this guy. Don't be afraid to take it.
I'm going to follow you.
And I'll give you a follow as well.
I hope. I don't know. Oh, what's the word? Yeah.
Isn't it wrong? They offer you this. Think about it, right? They had the cheek to offer £1,000, but yet it's a £1.2 million.
What's £1,000? What does that get you?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And also, they're telling us it's going to take, to put everybody right that's disabled, right? It's going to cost them 550 million, right? Well, hang on. Why are you sending us bombs and bullets? I don't want to bomb somebody. I don't want to shoot somebody.
Yeah. People say, listen, unfortunately, and I won't say it unfortunately for them, people just actually want to live a normal life. Unfortunately for them, while they just, continue to get richer, continue to cause trouble. And I mean that not
whatever
just...
normal is, people want to survive.
Yes, that's exactly it.
I am dreading this voucher system.
Well, let's don't. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm fortunate, and I just want to say thank you, Miss Frank, Stitch, River. Thank you so much as well for coming up and sharing your story. I am going to try to get a few hours sleep. But I will, if you are following here, thank you very much. If you are following here, I will put up a post tomorrow, like a text post, and I will let you know what time. But I think this definitely needs a part 2, because I think if we can get this back rolling again at a certain time, we'll hear a lot more.
Yeah, but if you Google it now, right? DWP against...
Be careful.
No, but it's all right. They can't even take us back to court. It's been thrown out. The government was brought by the human rights.
It's all about his account.
Yeah,
as long as it's safe. I don't want you to affect anything.
It's not going to affect me.
I don't. That's what I mean. And if you can, Mrs. Frank, if you can share a link with me.
We voted Labour in, right, for the wrong reason, because they've now backtracked.
Tony?
Yeah, sorry, Stitch, yeah.
Fair play for doing what you do, standing up for the people.
I'm just trying to give everyone an equal support, that's all I'm trying to do, and that's genuinely it. Respect. Thank you very much for joining as well. Big respect to you. River, good night.
I love you.
Do some Googling.
Where you been?
do some googling because it's all over on the Google site.
I'll have a look.
DWP
I'll have a look.
against for the loss of SDP and EDP. So if you write that down and Google it,
That's a
you'll
lot
find
of
it all come
numbers
up.
or a lot of letters. Sorry.
Well,
I'll
look
have a
it
I'll have a
up, people.
I'll
Look
have
it
a
up. Mrs.
look.
Frank, thank you.
DWP against taken to court for the loss of SDP and EDP. Google it, you'll see it all.
I'll
and how far
get off the
we've been
live
going
now
back.
because I think Tone wants to go.
2007.
Yeah, I'm trying to get
and
Miss
I'll-
Frank.
and I
Mrs.
will-
Frank, I'm going
I
to chat
will
to you in the
check it out.
comments. Sorry, Stitch, I'm going to drop
You're good.
people out.
You're
Listen,
good. You're good. You're good, mate. Bye bye.
respect for joining. And River, thank you so much.
Lovely.
Thank you very, very much. And good night to both of you. Good night. God bless to everyone. I'll let you jump out. If you want me to take you out of the boxes, I can. Or if you want to jump down, it's not a problem. River, good night. And thanks again for
Night,
jumping
Tony.
out.
Thanks for letting me join.
You're more, but listen, we are going to have part 2 tomorrow on this because I think it's very, very interesting. The more stories that can be shared, the more that people might get a bit of knowledge that could help them moving forward. Do you get what I mean? If we can share stories.
I only know what I know because of the support workers that I've had help me.
Well, there you go. See, a bit of information that you shared may have helped someone in the chat, or may have helped someone else in the live. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what we can do is help each other. All right, because knowledge is power, and that's the way forward. Once again, River, I'm going to drop you down now, and I'm going to say goodnight to the chat.
No problem. Good
Thanks
night.
again. All the best. All right. Listen, I just want to say thanks to all the new followers. Thanks to the mods that actually waited up this late with me. I really do appreciate it. It's 4:10 a.m. At some point tomorrow, we'll hold part 2 on this. All right, we will hold part 2, and I just want to say thanks to everyone that came up and shared their stories in the boxes. Because like I said, the more you tell each other and the more people find out, it might help them. With an appeal or with something like that. So I do appreciate it. What time roughly? I'm not sure. It's going to be afternoon because I will be live on this at the London protest tomorrow to document the police's actions on both sides. I'm not there getting involved in any protests, but I will be there to document the policing and how they behave tomorrow from both sides. The actual the one that was organised by Tommy Robinson and the one that is meant to be like a counter, the counter protest. So I will be there, but when I get back, I will fire up a live and we'll continue on round 2. All right. Good night. God bless everyone, and I'll speak to you all tomorrow. All the best.
The Observer, providing you with the latest TikTok drama from across the UK.